Yeah.
Hey, here we go.
Blacka.
Back for another installment of Silver Screen Breakdowns on a Friday night. I'm Alex. I go by the Fantasy Football Hustler.
Nelson Times. I go by Nelson Times. Find me on YouTube, Instagram. Yep.
I am Bogard Schwarzenegger. Come with me if you want to live.
Oh, it's a little dark in here now. Bam. There we go.
There it is.
Let there be light.
Yes.
Hey, Noble.
Hey, Jesus was black, bro.
Yeah, bronze skin, hair like sheep's wool or something, right?
He wasn't white. Tell you that much.
Man, we got an oldie but a goodie here. Oh man, so I've never seen.
You're older than me, blood.
I am older than me too. I've never seen this movie before. Deer Hunter, taken all the way back to 1979. I've heard about this movie, like in other movies. It's referenced a lot. Won a lot of awards, Academy Awards, and others back in 1978 for this movie. Nelson's the one who picked it. And Nelson, what's the connection?
Yeah, blame me, huh?
Oh, well, hey, it was good. I'm glad I watched it.
I'm glad you recommended it.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, do you want me to set it up? Or,
Yeah, well, go ahead, give your connection with it and why you chose it, and then we'll get into it a little bit.
Yeah, actually, a close friend of mine's brother recommended. Actually, no, he didn't recommend it, but I watched it with him. And he lives in LA, went to AFI, does lighting and camera and stuff. So he's a movie critic buff type of dude too, right? So he told me. So we watched this film. And that's where it's okay. When he recommends films, they're usually pretty good. Or usually some type of deepness to them, you know. Whether you like him or not, it's two different things, but he's up on his stuff. This film is a classic. It's got a mixture of, social friendships with going to war pretty much. And it's more of a psychological thing. I think, you mentioned Apocalypse before. That was like a psychological thriller as far as the war goes.
I haven't seen that one.
And then Full Metal Jacket, I think, too.
I've seen the Full
more
Metal
so than
Jacket.
it being just like a war film, like, Saving Private Ryan. And
War.
I think Platoon was more, those are more action.
Yeah.
Not so
more like
much psychology. This one is pretty much the first hour. There's really not much talking about the war. It's just about them hanging out. And it's called The Deer Hunter. You don't see them hunting that much either, really.
And then
it's also something that keeps it together, though, right? Like they have these little traditions. You know what I mean? Like
so it's in Pennsylvania. I think Carlton was the name of the town.
Right?
Clairton, outside of Pittsburgh somewhere.
Before that, I thought it was just an allergy medicine. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What's that?
I thought it was just an allergy medicine. I didn't think it was actually a place before I watched it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's an actual place, actually, right?
Yeah, Clairton, Pennsylvania, apparently. It's where it came from, right?
So
nobody has allergies there anymore.
What's that?
Nobody has allergies there anymore.
Yeah, so it's set in a small town, a small steel town, Pennsylvania. So everybody kind of knows everybody. So you got 6 friends, and they're hunters, and they drink at the pub. They got either work at the mine or they work at a grocery store.
Sing. I really dug how they sing.
They do like a lot of dancing and festivities. I think they're Catholic, right? The churchgoer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're sinners.
Real blue collar
drinkers.
And that's what I got. Real blue collar type of guys.
Yeah, total blue collar.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
so you got De Niro's the lead. He's the first on the credits before the name of the film, even I think. So it's Robert De Niro. He's kind of, I would say, they talk about alpha males, beta males, and not omega, but
delta.
They call those sigma males. They're kind of like loner dudes, but they kind of have alpha qualities. So he's like that. So he kind of leads the pack, and then his right hand man, you'd say, is Christopher Walken's character.
Yeah.
Even
Michael? No, sorry, Nick.
Nicky, yeah.
Nick, and then Michael was De Niro's. And then De Niro doesn't really, he hangs with the other guys, but he doesn't really get the other guys, but he's kind of with them by proxy, I guess. He was telling them how he likes to hunt with Walken's character, but he doesn't really like hunting with the other guys. And the other guys, and you got 2 big guys, right? And they're always the jovial dudes, kind of joking around. And then you got then the one guy, he goes to war with them, Steven, right?
Yeah.
He goes to war with them.
I remember that.
He gets messed up, and then you have another, then the 6th guy is a guy that's kind of like a bit of an outcast. So if you compare them to the League, almost,
Yeah.
who would you say that the sixth nerdy dude is like Andre? Or is he Andre?
So who is it? Is it? I mean, Stanley, I guess, kind of seemed like it. I mean, De Niro wanted to bust his chops a lot.
Yeah, that guy. That's like an Andre,
Never
right?
bring your boots out here. You never bring your gloves. But a guy wants to carry his gun like he's John Wayne or something.
Exactly. So you got there were some synonymous things with current day films as opposed to what this was too, right?
Yeah.
Even when he came out, I was watching it and thought of yes, if you watch Saving Private Ryan, right?
Yeah.
There's a part in there, when they were kind of waiting to find him, kind of near the end, but before the sniper. They're listening to the music.
Uh-huh.
That kind of brings them together just for a moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in this film, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but there's a time right before, at the end of Act 1, the big guy, he's playing the piano. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the next scene is when they're going to war like it was Platoon.
Which one was Meryl Streep's husband, or the one?
Oh, they got Meryl Streep. No, well, she never married either of them.
Who was the one she was with?
She was with Christopher Walken, but
That's
then Niro, he was kind of an outcast, but he was hitting on all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
he's that man. He's that alpha male.
He was very dynamic.
See, I was a little weird too, because she like wanted to be with Nikki, but was it Nikki didn't want to be with her? I don't really understand. I mean, there's a lot. It's
Well,
like
Nick proposed to her, but I think it's because he was trying to save her from him.
He was about to go to the war.
Right.
And he was about to go to war too.
Yeah. I thought that's why he really asked, because they were.
Yeah, I mean, like, just in case I die out there. But also too, like, his outlook on shit wasn't bleak, like, until he got there and realized, like, oh shit, this is some shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like, he's real joyful and real, like, full of life and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you have some jealousies a little bit playing on amongst the crowd with their women. And the one guy's getting married and they can't believe that they're getting married, that he's getting married. That one character. I don't remember what was his name. Oh, his name was Mike.
Stan was
Michael or Steven.
Steven was okay. I keep getting them confused. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got married, and that's where they all, Meryl Streep's character is kind of hitting on De Niro or eyeing him, but she's with Nick.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, so you have some of that, and then so you have a lot of, just kind of introductions to the dynamic of how the group interacts. And there's some similarities to the League, but not totally, but there's some things we have a group of guys that kind of break down their personalities.
I really felt like all the first scenes lasted like way too long. Like even they were building up, the friendship and kind of everything. Like pretty much their lives are all intertwined, from working to friendship, to every relationship that they have in their life is all based around, this core group of peeps. And it starts off with them showing the plant and everything and just what they're doing inside the plant. And steel plant, I'm sure, being around Pittsburgh, and just really showing that off. Everybody knows they're about to go hunting, and that's kind of what they're talking about. Oh, get one for me out there. So that's something that they all must do and talk about on a normal basis, is the deer hunting. And we it's kind of just slowly introducing us to the characters. I felt like the wedding just kind of dragged on a little bit. I didn't need to see like the full wedding ceremony to understand that, they're all best friends. They're all a wedding party. I felt like they didn't want to waste any film, I guess, because they filmed.
The intro was quite long. It was like, I think a little over an hour or something.
Seemed like it. And then it's the wedding and then the after party. And the after party, it seemed like they showed the whole after party there. We saw so much of it.
Yeah, it was establishing what was going on with the dynamic, but yeah, you got an earful.
Yeah, the part that I found very interesting. So no matter what, if it's a movie and there's a party, there's got to be some kind of conflict or some kind of fight. So this one, Stan, it's crazy. So Stan, in the guy who was playing Stan in the movie, John Cazale. So he actually had terminal cancer. He couldn't even get insured to do the movie, but Robert De Niro, out of his salary, paid the insurance so he could film the movie with them. And I guess he passed away like pretty much right after they wrapped. But like every scene that he was in, they had first on the docket just because of just him being.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's the one that played Steven, right?
Stan.
Oh, Stanley, the guy that was bugging about the boots and stuff.
Yeah. And so it was him when they got into a fight. It was, I don't know if it was his wife or it was just his lady, but it was who, I don't even remember who was the one who was like grabbing all on her ass. And
although, yeah, he was the meat cutter, and then he was the MC.
Oh, the butcher dude.
Yeah.
The butcher dude, yeah.
And the big fat dude's laughing at him. Oh,
he's grabbing on her shit.
You gotta do something about it.
Goes up and I thought he was gonna pistol whip the dude. He pistol whips the chick. Like what?
I know. I was not expecting that.
You know,
it's
why?
just back in those times where it's always the woman's fault, right?
You don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
I mean, back in those days,
Why
even
your ass
before
so
that,
big?
there was a lot of slapping chicks, blaming them for the problems.
Yeah.
You remember Sean Connery? Sometimes you have to slap a woman.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He got shit for that.
Hell yeah, he did.
You have to give her a good smack. Go ahead, continue.
And so at the party, I mean, that's when you're getting more inklings of them like actually going to war. They actually talk about it, and then they're like, "Hey, Mike, come over here. Mike's going to war, with them," and let's give them all a round of applause. And then they go out to I don't know, just whatever bars right outside of the hall. And then this was the part that was a little, this was the cause to pause for me. They see the dude in uniform. They try to get him to drink and everything, and the dude's just like tripping, like not paying attention to him. Don't know if he's ignoring him on purpose or what the hell's going on. And then pretty much just see he's a 5150. He's all fucked up from the war, and they're asking like, "What's it like over there?" Like they just want.
Oh yeah, because and this is from the Vietnam War, right?
Yeah,
the prior war. I
right.
remember the character.
I'm assuming. Yeah, I'm assuming he was at Vietnam and came back for something, and who the hell knows what. But,
yeah, because when was the draft historically? When did they do the draft? I know
I think it was. Oh, I don't even know. Don't even know. I think it was like the mid to late 60s, though.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, the whole war was 64 to 73. It said so. It had to be somewhat in the beginning, right? Oh, the lottery of 1969.
There you go. I was gonna say because there was a whole culture. It was like, the hippie free love and down with the war and, and then Woodstock, it was all there because it correlated with the draft. That's why I was trying to. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
And seeing that's all that he could say. They're asking him, oh, what's it like over there and all this. And they're like trying to get excited about it because, I mean, it's
because those poor souls don't know what they're in for.
Yeah.
I thought he walked in there like he knew someone, but he didn't know anybody.
No. And all he could say was "fuck it," just like Joe said. Just that was it. That's all he said. Fuck it. What's it like over there? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was definitely.
He didn't. Isn't that kind of ironic? Like he didn't want to discourage them either. Hey, don't go there, man. You don't want to see what I've seen, man. He's like, yeah, fuck it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because
it makes you numb. It makes you numb to it though. Like, hey, let these motherfuckers go through what I went through. Let them learn the hard way. You know what I mean?
I think that response would scare me a little bit. Well, fuck it. Like, what? But again, it is war. What do you expect, right?
I mean, and it was also an era where, you're hardened, like, period. If you're especially from like a blue collar town like that, where like hard working, real elbow grease, you know what I mean? Fucking honest working, fucking, chip on the shoulder, you know what I mean? Small town, small mountain town, they want to make something of themselves. They want to matter. We got drafted.
The only house that we see of theirs, their trailer living, it's not like they're living in some huge ass
the trailer house beside the plant, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that was where Mike and Nikki were staying, and who knows if other guys were staying there besides that, but that seemed like the meetup spot for.
And I kind of assume this is like a family thing, their dad worked at the steel mill, and they're fucking, you know what I mean, and they all grew up in the fucking little trailer thing. Like that's what
Did you guys want to live in a town like that?
No.
Because when I'm watching, I'm just like, man, I would not want to live there.
I mean, what's funny though is if that's all you know, then that's all you know, right?
Yeah.
That's home, right?
I mean, to a certain extent, because there's always some people that want to get out, right? So they know something.
Yeah, and make some, and I'm gonna be somebody. You know what I mean? This is what that's for some of them. This war kind of gave them meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, was it not like
at least initially?
Maybe this is like the first time any of them are leaving their own city, the city or whatever. And we're about to go, we're about to go protect the world.
Yeah. True.
And
well, the country at least,
yeah, for sure. And so and then I don't know what was up with the. So do you guys remember at the very end of the what's it called, the after party or whatever? They had the little ritual where it was like the husband, the bride and groom were like drinking out of. It was like a cup with two heads, kind of tin foil all on it, and it was like, if you do not drop a drop, you will have like 1 million years of good luck or whatever the hell they said.
A lifetime.
Lifetime. There you go.
A lifetime.
And they drop a drop, bro, because man,
multiple drops dropped on her. You saw
on her white wedding gown.
Yeah.
That was the forecasting of the ominous mood to come.
Yeah, they were not too. Yeah, how did nobody notice? Nobody noticed. Nobody said anything. That. It was.
There's 3 drops on her dress.
It's like the asshole who wants to jump up and say something. For then, if anyone has anything to say, these two shouldn't be wed.
What up, Chris?
You know that shit dripped on your. Never mind. Congratulations.
So one of the things when I was doing a little bit of research on this movie, they said it went over budget like immediately. So I don't know what the original budget was, but it ended up finishing off with a $15 million budget. In 1970, I mean, when were they filming it? 77?
That's like $100 million now.
I mean, that's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread. And the box office numbers end up being 49 mil. So over 3 times that as well, coming back.
So you said it went up to 15 or it was originally 15?
No. So I don't know what the original budget was, but it ended up reaching 15 million. And that was way over.
I would imagine they have a budget of, okay, think about this. Is it the same studio that did The Godfathers? Because I know the same dude who edited this movie edited like the first 2 Godfathers, and he, you know what I mean?
It was Universal.
Okay, so it was, right?
I think so.
Godfathers were before.
Yeah, but I'm saying they used the same editor, the same. I forgot what else. They used a lot of hitters from the Godfather regime. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever you want to call them. Whichever studio that worked with Godfather, they assigned. They brought in the same dude to edit this one too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of dope when you watch it, like the way it's. But I just don't. My whole issue is the pacing. I guess I'll say that for the end. Go ahead.
So now, after the whole wedding and the after party and everything, now they actually do go deer hunting. And I guess, we figure out later the deer hunter is pretty much Mike, Robert De Niro. But you don't really know why it's called deer hunter, especially when what I've heard about it is about war, So we see that.
Yeah, I never really understood that either.
But it's because it's him. He is like the focal point of the movie. So that's what I got from it. But then they actually go up the mountain. Even just like to get up to the mountain, they show so much different things. And I forget which character it was who like has to get out to take a piss, and then they lock him out. And
one of the big guys, I think, the guy with the beard.
Yeah, and they're just fucking with them, like, all right, come on, get in, and then they take off, and just being like assholes, and just guy stuff.
That was funny as a fuck.
And like, it was funny because like they did the joke so many times. It was like, how many times are they gonna do this before they just let him back in?
Like, they were dying, bro. They're like, we're gonna keep doing this thing. They're yoking the whip.
Yeah, you would think it would get old, but I guess not.
No, it doesn't get old.
That car, I think it looks like that car is like 20 years old too.
So funny. And that joke, it really never gets old. Of course it gets old for the person outside.
You get in that car, you can stay in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so they get all the way to the top. It's funny. Most guys, everyone except Mike is in still their tux from the last night. They all have their clothes and stuff that they're going to change into. But Mike's the only one who's like ready to go. Everyone else, just fucking around a little bit. And then Mike starts messing with Stan because, let me wear your boots. He goes, no. He was like, really? You're not going to let me wear your boots? He was like, what don't you understand? No means no. I wonder how many times he let him wear his boots, but the first time we see is I put my foot down.
It seemed like it was a lot, probably every year, right? It sounded like.
Had to be. Yeah, and then everyone starts hating on Mike. Really, you're just not going to let him wear the shoes? And then Christopher Walken gives him his shoes anyways. or whatever.
Could you imagine walking through the woods with those shoes on?
No,
That's
not
what I was
happening.
imagining.
It's not happening.
That was
And
funny, man.
And one of the other things that they said just about the deer scene in general. So they actually shot that deer, and they said they pretty much hit it with a tranquilizer dart or something to like give it like to slow it down, and they blocked its path to where it like couldn't go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they had to do a lot of things to set up that scene to be able for it to go down.
Yeah, but they didn't kill it. They just tranquilized it.
Yeah, they shot it with the tranquilizer gun. They had to do it. They did that first as well, so they could get it to stay long enough so they could actually shoot the scene.
Yeah, because I was wondering how they shot that. Because man, that looks real. I guess it kind of was.
Yeah, it was, but that's why it wasn't doing a lot of moving, because they hit it with the tranquilizer dart first. I guess it was just like a low dose or something, but enough to where they could keep it kind of cornered in like a spot where they can actually shoot the footage.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Crazy.
Yeah, so a lot. I mean, it's maybe things like that on why I made them over budget. Just things taking a lot longer than may should have. Really, they didn't want to waste a lot of film though. Like they filmed a lot here, but I mean, one of the things that I heard is like a lot of things that they did not want to waste the film. A lot of things probably made it in that they didn't really think were going to make it in originally, and everything was so good that they couldn't cut it.
Oh, that's why it was so freaking long. Yes, so I'll also admit there's some scenes that I'm like, man, they're long scenes, but they don't really need to be as long as they were.
Right.
I did notice that too.
Didn't necessarily. I mean, like the wedding, for example. I mean, that just didn't need to be as long as it was. We could have got the same, the same feeling about their entire crew, with it being cut down to 5 minutes versus 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that's something about 30 or something.
Same thing with the after party. It didn't need to be like 30 or 45 minutes, like however long it was. Like we would have got the same, because when we get into Act 2, I'll even talk about it. I was like, man, I want to see more here because I'm confused a little bit. But like all that time with the wedding and all that probably like made it to where they either had to cut some things out or they didn't film certain parts over here.
Man, yeah, for me, like in the whole movie, I was more into what was going on in Nam.
Yeah.
I found that's what I remember the most, actually.
Act 1 was really zero action, minus, the deer, like at the end. It was really just that. I mean, I know Act 1's mostly like building up the story, but I felt like they could have built it up like way faster than what they did. And yeah, then we could have seen more in Vietnam, because that's what just like you said, it's what I wanted to see more.
I think what they're really trying to hammer home in that first act was how normal they were.
Yeah.
And like the life that they lived and how it was prior to them going to this war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an everyday town, right? As small as everyday American small town.
Everything's routine. It's kind of monotonous.
Yeah.
Small town living. You know what I mean? They have a routine, even like when they go hunting, they go to the tavern, they sing the songs and they dance. And you know what I mean? It's small.
Oh, yeah, they sing a lot of songs.
Shit. Yeah. I liked that a lot, actually.
I know Bogey was getting down. We saw the guy playing the piano, like, oh, he's not just a goofy motherfucker. He's got some skills.
Yeah, he got some talent, bro.
Yeah, right.
He's tickling the ivories, that motherfucker, huh?
But yeah, they were going wild. I mean, I wonder if that was the only deer that they caught the entire time, because they didn't really, say if they caught more than that or whatever. But yeah,
did you notice though, or was it just me when they came back the deer on the hood? Right?
Yeah.
You see how small it looked?
Yeah.
That probably a fake deer.
It was. I know, of course, it was fake, but it was. Come on, they could have scaled it a little better than that. It was like as big as a dog.
Yeah,
like a medium-sized dog weird. They had on there with antlers.
That was definitely not a buck, huh?
No.
But yeah, they were hyped though, and who knows how often they're doing these deer hunting trips. Like I assume that this is more than a once a year like type thing. As serious as Robert De Niro, was taking it. Mike was taking it.
Yeah, and how much he got mad at him borrowing the shoes all the time. No, motherfucker, not this time. I'm a man now. You're not taking my shoes, motherfucker. Just give me the shoes.
No, just what's wrong with it, man? Why can't he use the shoes?
Then Michael, he went crazy. I didn't understand. He was running down the street naked, taking off his clothes. I didn't get that.
Yeah, that was crazy because he seemed like he always has his shit together, except for that scene.
Yeah, that made.
Was he on drugs that they missed? Is there something we were missing in that part?
No, he wasn't on drugs, I don't think.
No, I know I'm being sarcastic. I'm just saying, like, why? You know what I mean? That was one of those things that it was on. I'm like, what the fuck is this doing? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I had to rewind it. Like, how the fuck did he end up naked?
Yeah, that part made like zero sense.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. But he was kissing the bride, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I'm doing. And then he get pissed off. He got weird or something. And he started running and they started chasing him.
Yeah. Chasing him in the car, Mike, and laughing. I mean, it's just so funny. He's just tripping all the way down this big ass hill.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was his excuse after. Oh, no, I'm just crazy. I didn't just kiss you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was odd.
Pretty wild.
Good acting in Bobby right there, actually.
Yeah, we see a lot of range from Robert De Niro, and just he's the glue that holds the movie together. He's the glue that holds their entire crew together. It seems like they'd be really lost without him.
He was definitely the leader for sure. Yeah.
If anybody ever had an issue with anything in life, I feel like he's the one that they go ask about it.
And it is hella funny too, because I'm pretty sure it would never work that way. Like they all get drafted and they're together. You know what I mean?
That probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but I was just, I'm a nitpicking son bitch though. I'm like, they put it, but they had a buddy system. Like, I need to go with him. Mike needs to lead me. I don't know what I do without Mike.
And that's pretty much going to lead us into Act 2. We kind of get no lead into it. It's just they're playing the piano. It's real happy, real lucky.
Boom! Boom! We get napalm, man.
Right into Vietnam. And for everyone listening in podcast form, make sure you go subscribe on YouTube to Silver Screen Breakdowns. And if you're watching us live on video, make sure you go subscribe to the podcast. Silver Screen Breakdowns on Apple, on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple and Spotify.
Yes. Please do. I'm Nelson Tynes. You can find me on YouTube. Got a channel on there. And Instagram, Nelson Tynes _ TYNES. Yep. Bogey.
Yes. And I'm Bogard Skyfer. You can follow me at the GMM Network on everything. And tune in next time for the second act of Silver Screen Breakdown. We will be following the war with a deer hunter. Let's go.
All out war. Here we go.
Silver Screen, motion picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really lit this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.